Hello, Sarah. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. Do you want to get started with our interview?
Yes.
Today, I'm going to ask you some questions about your past experiences with addiction, how you've overcome your addiction, and how you're going to continue to progress. Is that okay?
That's fine.
Aren't you glad to be done with drug court and finally graduated from high school?
Yes. I am so happy to be done with drug court. It has helped me change my life, my way of living. It has brought me closer to my family. It has brought structure into my life. If I never got put on drug court, only God knows where my life would be today. I'm so glad to have gotten caught. As for my GED, I'm so happy to finally accomplish something in my life. I dropped out in the 9th grade, so to go back at the age of 22 and try to get my GED, it took a lot of time. Now that I have my GED, I can do the things in life that I have always wanted to do.
After being on drug court for 4 years and taking your GED a numerous amount of times, how much has your day-to-day life changed?
At the beginning, it was hard to change. I didn't want to change my lifestyle. It was the way I was raised. It took the first 2 years to get my life together. The next 2 years after that, I finally knew drugs were not for me. I realized I had to change or nothing would. As for my day-to-day life has changed after I realized I was working a full-time job for once in my life. I was spending time with the ones I loved, which are my kids.
Is it okay if I ask you a series of personal background questions that led to your addiction?
Yes, I'm okay with that.
I spoke on the phone with your mom last week, and she revealed that when you were a little girl, she was an addict herself, and thought that this might have influenced you to turn to drugs and become addicted too. Do you think that this has a major impact on the decisions you've made? Excuse me.
Yes, very much so. It was normal to me. I always thought it was the way to live. When you live in the same house with anyone, you pick up their habits, especially when you're growing up and this person is supposed to teach you how to live. Watching my mom every day, taking Xanaxes every time she was stressed, mad, angry, became my life when I got older. So to answer the question, yes, it had a major impact on the decisions I made in life.
I researched about the effects of addictive parents on their children, and Hope Network said that children of addicted parents are at a high risk to become addicts due to genetic and family environmental factors. Do you believe that statement to be true?
Yes, when you are a kid growing up with an addict, everything you see them do, you will. That's how you learn, is from your parents and the environment you grow up in.
Is it okay if I ask you a couple questions about how addiction affected your adulthood?
Yeah.
Do you think your addiction was the main factor in not completing your schooling on time?
Yes. I was too busy trying to hang out with older people I thought were cool. Drugs were my main purpose in life at that time, and before I dropped out completely, I did only go to school on Fridays just to find out where the parties were. Crazy, huh? Drugs do make you forget about the important things in life.
In speech class, we are currently learning that it is highly important to ask questions carefully and accurately to get the information you truly need. How did doing drugs affect your ability to word, ask, and answer questions?
Honestly, drugs affect all of that. It affects my thinking sometimes when I am asking a question or even just talking. I lose what I was saying. Sometimes I'll ask the person I am talking to, what was I just talking about? It's hard to concentrate on anything. It made me very non-social. To this day, someone can ask me something and my brain just stops. It's like I know what I am trying to say, but I can't think or speak for a moment. Or if I do speak, I can't talk right sometimes. It is very, very embarrassing to me.
In the psychology book written by David G. Myers, it discusses how the effects of doing drugs and the effects of withdrawal can act on the body. Now that you are not doing drugs, how has that improved your mental state?
Oh, wow. I wouldn't quite say my overall mental state has improved at all. I still have a lot of troubles processing questions and my thoughts.
How did the effects of withdrawal affect your body?
It has affected my body by giving me night sweats to where I wake up at night and I can't go back to sleep again. Also, my mind races, so I cannot gather my thoughts. I grind my teeth sometimes, still to this day. But I think overall, the worst is not being able to think correctly.
Many people might not know that as a little girl you wanted to go to college to study law enforcement. How did taking the path of drugs affect your ability to go to college and study this profession?
Taking drugs stops anything and everything you could ever think of doing when you're addicted. It takes your dreams away from you, like you've never had any to begin with. I dropped out at the age of 15, the 9th grade, and I didn't get a GED until the age of 23. But now that I have an education, which is my GED, I can always go to college and study my dreams.
Is it okay if I ask you some questions about your family relationships?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
How did your addiction affect your relationships with your family and friends?
It affected every single relationship. I lied, I stilled, I just did it all just to get my high. You hurt the people you love without any intentions of hurting them. I stole money from my family. I didn't realize at the time of doing this I was losing the people I loved. As for my friends, I had friends while I was on drugs, but once I got caught and put on drug court, they left. So therefore, I never really had friends. I guess you would just call them so-called friends. I am seriously happy that none of them are around anymore.
How did you doing drugs affect your relationship with your first 2 kids?
Oh, wow. I guess I would say it affected my girls because I wasn't there for them. I miss birthdays and their first words. I think it affects me more than them because they won't remember because they were so young, but I will remember everything that I miss still to this day.
How did you not doing drugs improve your relationship with your most recent child?
Oh, it is the best ever. I haven't missed a thing with my son yet. I have a lot of regret because I feel like I've missed everything with my 2 girls, and with my boy, I have been there every day for him.
Now that you've completed your drug court course, how have your relationships improved?
They're good. My relationships with my family couldn't be better. We are closer than ever. I don't think not for 1 second I would take any of my past away. My family is proud of the person I have become today, and I am too.
Is it okay if I ask you a couple questions about how your future will change?
Yeah.
Do you think that the fact that you were an addict will impact your children's lives at all?
Yes. My kids started growing up the same way I did. I never thought one person could impact your life. I can only hope they do better for themselves. I have changed, so honestly, they have seen both sides.
From your past experiences and current obstacles, how are you going to use that to encourage your children to make better futures?
I can only hope they make the right choices in life. If they choose to make the wrong choices in life, I will be there no matter what to get them help because I know how tough it can be. I hope that with me starting them a college fund will make them see that there are better ways of living.
We have discussed your past addictions and overcoming of addictions. How do you think you will continue to progress in your addiction-free lifestyle?
Oh, I am progressing by having my schooling done and getting promoted to general manager at my job, getting to know my kids better on a mother-daughter basis. I will continue to progress in my addiction-free lifestyle because I enjoy being healthy. And having relationships with the people I love is the most important.
I appreciate you taking the time out of your day and you allowing me to interview. I also thank you for sharing your experiences with me.
You're very welcome, and thank you.